Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Dr. Tony Chopper, and this is part 3 of the review for the Master Grade Nu Gundam version Katoki. Now in this part we're going to go over the weapons and accessories of this iconic mobile suit, and you'll get to see everything about these weapons and accessories. Let's get started. Starting off with the weapons, we have the beam rifle here. It has just the two different colors, the white and the blue up top. Now, it's relatively simple in construction. There's pretty much no moving parts other than the little peg that goes into the hand here. But there is quite a fair bit of detail on this guy. Just looking around, there's plenty of different places where you can do panel lining on, and also usually that one spot down the middle, it's a little bit covered up and kind of made into the design right there. Of course, the barrel is empty, looks like that. But there's one cool thing about this, and that's Bandai actually went and thought of the people who actually want to paint this guy. And they made it really, really easy to take this piece off. All you do is slide it off, and you have two different pieces. So painting this guy is extremely, extremely easy. Okay, here is the new Hyper Bazooka. Now this guy shares some of the same color scheme of the beam rifle, of course. We have the blue, the white, some red here for the missiles on both sides, and also we have a sticker for the scope right there. Now there's a little bit of moving parts on this guy, a little bit. The barrel can extend and collapse. Doesn't go that far, but it does give you that sense of length there. Also, we have a moving part right here for the handle. It sways back and forth, and also this part right here for the hand. This peg can move in and out. Now, one thing that they did on this bazooka I really like is the way they've segmented these two parts. Usually these parts on a kit for a bazooka, they would just be sandwiched in between and really, really solid, couldn't really get it out. Or something along those lines of being molded in and you'd have to paint around it, which is incredibly hard just by looking at this piece. But Bandai did a really good job, and they made this independent, so you can pretty much take this out, paint it, put it back in, and nothing will happen. It's really good that Bandai is going out of their way, kind of, to make color separation so amazing that when you paint things, it's going to be even easier. It's really easy to just take that part off, and yeah, they thought about the people who paint too. These missiles right here are outlined and detailed really nicely. Here you go for a shot in the back, and the front as well. As you can see, they have those little fins on the inside, but that's all just one solid piece. Another part is the ammo pack in the back actually comes off, and you just plug it back in, like so. Now with this kit you actually get two different beam sabers. The first one over here, this one pops into the forearm, and it's pretty much your standard beam saber. It has the same peg that we have with all the weapons, so that it can fit in the arm a little better, or the hand. And of course when you pop it in, it's going to look like this. Now this isn't one of your standard beam sabers. It is slightly curved and of a different color, or I don't think that really matters. But this came out at the same time as the kit, so it's not a rehash. The second beam saber, of course, is the one that Amuro is really famous for. It has the little handle arm guard type thing right here, or hand guard, and of course it has that same system with the peg that comes out. Now we got this out finally. It's the same one that all the other different weapons have, where you peg it in. This moves the same, of course. And this part up here is a different part, and this down here is one solid piece. Now when you're putting it in, the beam that is, it's especially notched that way. So when you shove it in, it'll be like so. And it can only go in one way. Now it's really impressive because it's pretty big and it curves. But what makes this extra special is the other half. You have another beam on the other side where you just plug it in the same way, and it looks like that. You have the front part, which does majority of the damage, and that little part where you can stab someone. It just fell out. The best offense is a good defense. Now, when you look at the shield, the first thing you notice is that it's entirely in white in the front. That's actually all one giant piece. The back, we just have this blue piece. This moving part, actually, which connects to the arm, so that's cool. It moves around. And right here, we have the beam cannon right here that shoots out, and also the missiles. So being on the defensive can also turn into the offensive. Right here on the inside, it's a little disappointing though. The kit is incredibly good at making inner frame for pretty much everything, so it's kind of disappointing seeing this just be a hollow white. The front usually has an insignia for Amado's crest. I didn't put that on. That comes in a water slide decal, but I didn't put it on yet because I want to paint it. And also this part, it's not the background or anything, the plastic part on the back bleeds through right here. So that's kind of cool. Now, I didn't include this in the last part because technically the backpack's not a part of the body in any way, shape, or form, so I have it here. Now, the backpack, it is really simple. Has a lot of different colors on it though. We got a lot of orangish yellow, some of this gray part right here, and these white accents that really make things pop. Now this part right here is where you put the primary beam saber, and of course you can turn it ever so slightly. You can go up that way, and it can turn that way as well. This part up here can rotate, and also this part can pop up a little bit, and that's mainly for the transformation, so I'm not revealing too much. And it's really easy to just pop this in the back of the torso. Now we have some parts here that are really cool. We see some of the gray bleed through right here, so that really helps the detailing on this guy and just makes it overall a cooler looking backpack. Now for the weapon that the Nu Gundam is most famous for, the fin funnel. Now the fin funnel is really cool on this guy. We have a lot of different colors on it. We have the yellow, the blue, and the white. Now on him, when you open it up, it looks like this. There's quite a bit of detail on the inside. Whole bunch of different things you can paint up. They're on these hinges with this hinge mechanism, where you can fold it in like that, so you can shoot out, or you can fold it straight, or even one way like that when you're storing them. Now, it's really cool. On the back right here, we have a hole. That's where you put in the clear plastic rod for the effect, where it's shooting off into space. And also these holes on either side of the fin funnels on the inside, they're for the effect parts that they come in a separate pack. And to open these guys up, it's really simple. All you have to do is take one of these and fold it out, and you do that for all four sides. And it looks a little something like this. Now these guys have teeth on them. Now if you fold them down, it's just that one part that sticks out. But when the connection actually happens, when you put them together, you put it in like this. And they lock into these holes, or like these grooves right here, and the teeth sink in there really easily. And when you're putting it together, like combining all the different funnels together, when you want to combine it like that for the storage, it looks like that, and you just plug them in. Alright, now after playing with them for a while and putting them all in the right order, we have this, the fin funnel backpack set. Now one thing I've noticed with this is the connection is kind of weak, and because of it just staying on with those teeth, basically, those teeth, yeah, it curves this entire thing. So when you're putting it on the backpack, I don't know, it doesn't look that secure to me. And see, yeah, with just a little bit of a touch, it'll come off. Now what I suggest you do after you build this, and you want to pose it, of course, I guess, right? Put the Nu Gundam into a pose first, and then try to attempt to put this on. Because if you keep this on and try to pose it, you're going to knock them all off, and you're probably going to cry, because it's going to take you forever to go and assemble this again. Now, try to have those markings on here. Oops. Have the markings on the fin funnels. It'll be a lot easier that way, so you don't have to always switch these back and forth. I don't have the markings on it right now, so it's a little bit hard to keep track of which one's which. And yeah, so if you do put the markings on there, it will be a lot easier to realize which one's which. And hopefully it'll spare you a couple headaches. Now here is the stand. It's in black and it's in Amado's insignia. Now this is a recycled part from the Nu Gundam that was released a while back. And this arm part and everything else up is from the Nu Gundam. This is all ABS plastic, all the see-through stuff. And we get these little arm things. We get 6 of them, 3 on each side, and they're specific to each side, of course. And they notch into these parts in the back, right here. You can actually put 2 on the same one, because if you see, the see-through part only ends right there. So you can put another one in on the other side. In terms of moving parts on this, we have this part. It can actually move like that. Up and down, quite a fair bit actually. But that's as far back as it goes. And in terms of mobility for the arms, since they're all the same, I'm just going to show you one. It can move like that. Now don't worry about the sound because they all have little like notches while on the inside, so don't worry about that. This part actually can come out like that. Like I'm really you got to be really careful with these. It feels really fragile. There's another moving part right here. Like again, although this is ABS plastic, I am quite afraid to move this around too much. And over here, where it does connect to the fin funnel, it's on a ball joint. Like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys can get some pretty good poses out of this stand. Alright guys, that concludes part 3 of the review for the Master Grade Nu Gundam version Kotoki. We went over the weapons and the accessories of this iconic mobile suit. Now don't forget to come back in part 4 when we look at the transformation of this guy. My name is Dr. Tony Chopper, and I'll see you guys then. Peace out guys.